welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a phone meeting checklist. Yes, last night I was going to say yesterday, but last night it was around 8 p.m. I had a meeting with a company about services that I may want to utilize and possible partnerships. Now, I do want to say this. The reason that I was motivated or inspired to make this video is because before the meeting I found myself just gathering some materials to make sure that I was ready for the meeting. Now, I have children at home, so when I go into my office space, once the door is shut, I like it to stay shut. I don't really like to keep running in and out grabbing different things, and so a while back I made like a checklist for myself to make sure that I have everything ready so that when I do have phone meetings or Skype meetings, I don't have to keep running in and out. They don't really hear too much background noise, too much interference. Of course, there still may be some noise, but it definitely reduces the back and forth, and it's just respectful to your party's time. I really am big on respecting time and making sure that you follow through with your commitments. And so I was finding that when I wasn't prepared, it was drawing out the conversations or the meeting even longer than it needed to be. And it wasn't their fault, it was really on me, because I would have to say, well, one moment, let me grab this, or 1 second, hold on a moment, or hey, I'm sorry about the background noise, can you please repeat yourself? Well, 1 moment, let me run out here and grab this, you may hear some noise. It was just so much, and it was unprofessional, and it just wasn't a good representation of my brand and my business. And so this checklist has definitely helped me simplify having meetings at home. A lot of the meetings that I've had have been at home, especially if I'm working with a company on a partnership, or if I'm working with a company on wanting to use maybe one of their services for my business, or whatever the case may be. Even if I'm doing a consultation, typically my consultations are via email, which works really well for both parties involved, because a lot of people have busy days, jam-packed schedules, and email is a great efficient way of communication. And so if you are interested in a business consultation, make sure that you reach out to the email listed on the screen. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So the first thing that I'd like to point out is make sure, this seems very like a no-brainer, but I can't tell you how many times I forgot to bring a pen or a pencil with me into the office space that actually worked. It's been more times than I'm proud to say. I've either brought in a pen or pencil into the office space and they both didn't work, or I just forgot. So there's been times that I've been drawing or writing notes with markers. I had to make notes with colored pencils or with broken crayons that I may have found in a corner of the office space. And so what I do is I just make sure that my pen and my pencil, whatever one I'm using, is definitely working well. I do a quick scribble just to make sure it's working, and I make sure that I bring those with me. Now, the next thing that I bring with me is water. I try to always keep water with me. Even in the car, I carry water. It doesn't have to be, I get people that ask, what brand of water do you drink? I used to be really, really big on specific brands of water, and who knows, I may get back into that. But now I just grab water. I grab a bottle of water. Typically I have water at home. Again, I don't really care what brand at this point. I may get back into that, like I said, but I just grab water and I make sure I take that with me. Number one, a lot of times your voice can get dry or your throat can get dry. I don't know, sometimes the meeting runs over. I just find that it helps me feel better just having water on hand. I used to not bring water with me to presentations nor to meetings, just because I didn't really see the point. I was like, my throat really doesn't get dry. I can really wait if I'm thirsty until after I get done working. But what I found is that sometimes for me, I have anxiety and I get nervous sometimes. If I'm doing a presentation or even if I'm doing a meeting, sometimes I'll get nervous. And if I get nervous, I will notice that my throat starts to get dry, and it kind of, my tone changes a little bit. Because I'm trying to still speak clearly, but my throat isn't in the same condition as it was when we first started. So water is definitely another item on my checklist that I would bring into your phone meetings. Now, the next thing that you may want to bring to your meeting are questions. You may want to bring questions to your meeting. I should have said the next things. I try to make sure I bring at least 5 questions. Number one is going to show the presenter or the other party, whoever it may be, whatever meeting it may be, it's going to show them that I'm really interested in what it is we're talking about. A lot of times people, no one really wants to waste their time, and people have a way of kind of assuming if you're really interested and if you're not. And I never want to give off the impression that I'm not interested or that someone's wasting their time. And I never want to schedule a meeting or like a presentation or anything like that I'm not truly interested in. Like I said in some other videos, I make sure that what I'm doing has a purpose behind it. I'm very intentful. So I don't like to waste time either. I'm not going to schedule a phone meeting or a Skype meeting for that matter just for the sake of saying I had a business meeting, or just for the sake of saying I'm going to a business meeting. Like I don't care. I don't care to say it. I'm not doing it just to do it. I'm doing it because I am very interested in what this other person or what this other company has to offer. And so if I'm interested, naturally questions just come to me because I'm doing my research, but I still have questions because I want to speak directly to a person sometimes, and especially if they're doing a presentation, but I still may have questions. And so if I'm getting an opportunity to experience a live meeting, a live presentation, I'm going to make sure that I have my questions jotted down. Even if you do research and you find the answers, sometimes it works really, really well to re-ask your questions, and you may get the answer in a different way. It doesn't necessarily have to be a different answer. I hope that their information that I research isn't contradicting the research that they're actually showing in the presentation. But all I'm saying is that it's going to help me it could help me understand it in a better light. Getting an answer with different wording can definitely help bring more awareness and more insight on the whole process or service that this company or this presenter or whoever else it may be offering. Now, the next thing that you want to bring to your presentation, or the next thing that I bring to my presentation, is my budget. And that's just kind of funny when I say it like that, but that's true. I bring my budget with me. I keep in mind, especially if I'm going to a presentation for, a certain service that I may want to offer to my company, or partnership type of, I make sure that I know what it is I'm willing to either spend on the product or service, or what it is I'm willing to how far I'm willing to do the cut. Like, is it going to be a 60-40 split through the partnership, or am I going to pay up front and then, or are you going to, I have to figure that out. I have an idea of what I'm proposing, if that makes sense. They have their idea of what they're proposing or what they're charging, and I have my idea on what I'm going to spend and what I'm willing to do as well. So now, when you do bring your budget, I don't come into the meeting with just a complete hard stance, like this is exactly how much I'm spending, not a cent under, not a cent over. I don't do that. I definitely keep my options open. I just like to have an idea of what it is I'm planning on doing. Like I said, I like to move with purpose, and I like to be very intentful. So I have an idea of how this is going to work, and I've budgeted what I wanted to budget into potentially using this service or this product. So I have that in mind. I have that jotted down, and I have my own notes that I take to the meeting as well, so that when the pitch is done, I'm able to converse about, okay, hey, I really enjoyed this and that, get my questions answered, and then also we can get into the nitty-gritty about the pricing, and I can we can kind of go back and forth on that. So definitely have your budget, but I would leave room for negotiation. All right, the next thing that I would bring to my presentation is your expectations, the expectations of the meeting. So, a lot of meetings require you to call into a bridge line sometimes, because it may be you and other parties. You want to make sure that you do have service. There are people that have tried to do conference calls and they don't have service. They're constantly trying to reconnect their phone, and it just takes a lot. It just takes unnecessary time, you know what I mean? So I would make sure that my phone's working, my internet connection is up and running. If I need to reset my modem for my internet, then I'm doing that ahead of time. I'm just going to make sure that everything is where it needs to be and operating correctly so we can get started with the meeting efficiently. I also want to know what are we going to do in the meeting? Are you going to be showing me a demonstration through, do I need to be on my computer? Do I need to be on an iPad? I mean, what do I need to be on? Can I just sit on my phone? If it has internet access, like what do you need from me? What are we going to be showing? Because I want to make sure that I'm right. One of the other things is I may not be in my home office. It may be a day where the kids aren't at home, they're out for a little bit, and I may decide to have the meeting in my living room. But my living room may not be clean. So let me know beforehand if we're going to do a Skype type of deal, if I need to straighten up around me before we start doing the meeting. Let me know if it's going to be, you need me to be on the actual computer. Just let me know the right expectations. And I've even gone into a meeting virtually and them asking me to hook up my webcam. And I'm like, webcam? I'm not the most technical savvy person. I'm not. And I don't think you have to be able to connect a webcam. I'm just saying some things I'm just like, or I don't know. So I'm just saying I like to ask questions. Like I'm excited that we're starting this meeting, but let me know, send me over, what we're going to be doing and what operating systems we need to use in order to facilitate and participate with this meeting. So were those 5? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, those are 5. So that's kind of the checklist that I go over in my mind. I wrote it down just so I wouldn't forget anything or leave anything out. But those 5 things really, really help me to make sure that I'm having successful meetings. So I really hope that this will help. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.